Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Ray Andrewsen, who's the Executive Director of the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. Hello, my friend.
It's good to be back.
Hey, bud, how are you?
Doing well, Pete. It's good to see you again.
You too. What's new?
Well, quite a bit. We're starting a new year, 2024.
That's right. I haven't seen you since.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's new is your set.
That's right. Yeah, we got new gigs.
This is custom made here.
It is.
Yeah. So did this come from Jordan Furniture?
I
don't want to get a big plug because I don't know if you're turning everybody into a Boston Red Sox fan. You know, some of you want Yankee furniture.
Exactly. Now.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's almost baseball season, but it's good to be back, and it's really pleasant to be in this nice studio.
Absolutely. So, what's new with the chamber?
Quite a bit. You know, we've just, as we discussed our last time we were meeting together, it's been a challenging time, I think, for anybody who's in a dues organization or where there's membership, for example. And you see this, it's not just business, it's cross-cultural. It's anything where anybody's engaged, because COVID sort of ripped off a little bit of the cohesive aspects of a community for all of us. So we went virtual, we went home, we did virtual work. You know, we have technology allows us and affords us an opportunity to do that now, which is great to have that flexibility, but it kind of disconnected a lot of people from business and from interpersonal contact. So dues is a challenge, and I don't mean that just for our chamber. So because we're a membership-based organization, we're no different from houses of worship, which have also seen a decline in engagement, perhaps, in stewardship. Nonprofit organizations where they're having more challenges, perhaps building their boards of directors, keeping their donors and volunteers engaged. Not all across the board, but many are. And certainly we've seen this in terms of business, because we live in this era of click and drag, you know, of we can order it and it comes to your doorstep and here's your cardboard box that contains something that you're going to ship back in a cardboard box.
Exactly.
And Main Street businesses interactivity is sort of coming back because I think people like that personal touch.
Right.
So what's new at the chamber, I went on a big tangent there, is that we are seeing now a re-engagement.
Okay.
And we just had an event, and you are also going to be interviewing Vincent Cervoni. Vinny Cervoni is the new mayor of Wallingford.
That's right.
One of our two towns at the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce is Wallingford, where our office is located.
Right.
Wallingford and North Haven. And at his State of the Town address, which was held February 1st at Masonic here at the National Art Village in Wallingford, we had 175 people come out.
Wow.
And nothing against his predecessor of 40 years, Bill Dickinson.
Right.
New mayor, of course, a lot of piqued interest, but we pretty much doubled the attendance for an event like this.
Really?
And we're already seeing strong numbers for our State of the Town address with Mike Frieda in North Haven, who's been in office for 16 years. So although he's been in office a long time, people want to hear his message. What we're seeing is people are coming back. They like networking. They like the business after hours.
Oh, yeah.
They like the leads groups. They like to be in person. So I think the future of not only chambers of commerce, but communities are going to be bright if we keep this trend going.
Now, it's funny, you mentioned the company with the little, placing the order with the little brown box and it's showing up at your front door.
Yes.
Funny story, my mom ordered something from the company with the little brown box where it shows up at your front door.
Yes, we hope it's your front door.
Well, it was my front door.
Yeah.
It arrived yesterday morning at 5:45 a.m. I'm like, that's ludicrous. My dad looks at me, he's like, did you hear the truck? Or I'm like, no. He's like, I'm like, what happened? My mom was like, I ordered something from the company with the little brown box who leaves it on the front step. I'm like, right. She was like, they delivered it at 5:46 this morning. I'm like,
well, it's
that's crazy.
Well, it is a new world to have someone drive into your driveway at 5:46 and drop something off in your doorstep.
The only thing that's usually there at 5:46 is the newspaper.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
If you get a newspaper, I mean, that's another change that we're experiencing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think everything has a place. Everything has its time, season, and place. But I think convening in-person events are the way to go. Great example, a new trend line that was just discovered with a shopping I can't remember the name of it, but it's a chain of grocery stores that are bringing back what would be considered, if you can think of this, as sort of the senior aisle. So that people who are more accustomed in vintage, perhaps like me, or
Yes.
speak for myself, who like going through the shopping, putting all the broccoli and the the potatoes and the coffee on the express conveyor belt there to have them checked in, like the interaction with somebody as you're checking out, as opposed to the automated checkout.
I'm the same way.
And we have a loneliness epidemic in this country, as we know, and around the world, because of the new technology and a variety of other factors, that this has been so warmly received by this, that they're now creating more spaces to hire more staff to do more checkout spaces.
Right.
And they're taking away their actual auto checkouts. So it's different than pumping gas.
Yes.
You don't really have a big interaction with somebody who's checking the oil and checking your, washing your windshields, although it'd be lovely if somebody would do that.
Absolutely.
But there are some things you're never going to see come back from self-serve.
No.
But it's nice to have an interaction with a person, have a relaxed conversation. And I think we see sort of the slower growth of a business, or shall we say the slow engagement of a business, by having those intentional conversations, getting to know somebody, because those are the conversations that build trust.
Right.
You've been doing this for a long time. You're trusted doing this.
I have been.
And I think that's what we're seeing in business, is we're seeing a sort of a desire for those relationships where people can be one-on-one, have a coffee, have lunch, get to know somebody, trust their service, have them show up over a period of time. If we go into business with merely a transactional notion of, I'm sort of playing bumper pool with you, that I'm going to connect with you for 1 week and then we're gone, it's kind of hard to reestablish that relationship if you don't know that person particularly well. So we're starting to see an uptick in people convening, coming to events, networking, wanting to be around other people. How about that?
There you go. Now, are you guys doing stuff in person as far as events, or are we still doing things through Zoom or through Skype? Or?
Well, we're really not trying to do anything online as much anymore. I mean, we can do meetings for convenience. If you have a committee, and somebody's working in West Hartford and somebody's working in Middletown or here in Westbrook or wherever, people commute. If they want to be at home, or if they have a sick child or whatever the case may be, a Zoom meeting or anything at Microsoft Teams, it certainly is easier to convene a meeting of a committee. And those things and we do this as staff. You don't have to be physically present together all the time. But you can't really do events very well online anymore with a great deal of success.
No. Now, speaking of events, what do we have coming up?
A lot. So February 14th, here we are in early February recording our program tonight.
That's right.
But on Valentine's morning, and what could be more romantic than North Haven First Selectman Mike Frieda on Valentine's morning delivering the State of the Town address. He'll be talking about infrastructure and business development. And we'll have those little candy hearts, I guess, there too. This will be at Quinnipiac University. We start with our coffee, continental breakfast, 8 to 8:30. The program is this is the beautiful auditorium at the North Haven campus of Quinnipiac. From 8:30 to 9:30 with a question and answer period, a little networking on the back end of it. So that's Wednesday, February 14th.
Okay.
We have a lot of events, business after hours, and leads groups that continue. Our podcasts continue, which I continue to record for the Chamber. And our next major event will be back at Quinnipiac University, April 11th, and that'll be our Manufacturing, Engineering, and Technology Fair. We had 90 companies, 90 booths last year, and 400 attendees. So it's a big event. It'll be April 11th on a Thursday from 3 to 6 in the afternoon, a job fair. Lots of jobs. The jobs are roaring here in Connecticut in manufacturing. Lots of really good paying jobs. And that'll be that afternoon at Quinnipiac's M&T Bank Center, where the basketball team and hockey team convene. This will be on the basketball court. Basketball team's doing really well.
They are doing really well.
Best start for Quinnipiac basketball in 44 years.
Hockey's doing well too.
Yes, they are. So we'll keep those championships coming up there
you go.
with the Bobcats. So we're kind of excited that we're going to have it there, and we're partnering with Quinnipiac, and we have a lot of big events go out throughout the year.
Cool. Now, that's a beautiful venue up there.
Yes, it is.
Where they play hockey and basketball. I remember
Yeah.
I was up there
Yeah,
a while
you can see France
back.
from up there, I think.
I think you can.
As you look in the distance, the Eiffel Tower pops up.
I think it
kinda cool.
was. And then you see the sleeping giant,
Yes, yes.
which you don't want to wake.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a gorgeous. It really is.
It is.
and they're building some more now at the
Oh, are they?
Quinnipiac campus. So, it's a very well invested university in this region, and very business friendly, I might add. They've been a great partner.
I've never been up to the campus in North Haven. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's the former, for those of you who remember from 10, 15 years ago, probably a little longer than that actually now, it was the former Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield
All right,
facility,
right off the
which has been repurposed and beautifully done architecturally. Attractive place, and the grounds are gorgeous with the fountains and the grounds and the landscaping. That's where a lot of the graduate programs are located. Law
Okay.
school, medical school, for example, are over in that location. It's a very nice building.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
That's where I'm going to be.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Ray Andrewsen, who is the Executive Director of the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back, sir.
Good to be here, Pete, always.
Well, we're going to talk about events, other events that the Chamber has coming on.
Yes.
But also, you have some news for me.
Well, and for anyone who's watching, I guess, I'm going to enter the non-check receiving population pretty soon. So I announced my retirement. I'll step down effective March 1st from the Chamber. It's been a great 4 years being involved with the Greater New Haven Chamber and the Quinnipiac Chamber. As you know, when I came on your program for many years, I'd been at Quinnipiac University for 23 years at
Yeah,
WQUN, the radio station.
Right.
General manager and the morning host, and I loved radio. I had a long 33-year career in radio, and I just really enjoyed all of it. But it's going to be an interesting thing. Families changing, growing.
Yep.
They're in different places. You can't run a chamber of commerce in Florida or in England, where my kids live.
No.
So, where the grandchild is. So it was one of those things where it just kind of, we had a little family gathering in the get together this past summer, and like, Dad, why are you still working? And full reveal, I'm at that retirement age.
Right.
I plan to work a couple of years more. But it's like you'll know. And I would give this advice to anybody. You'll know when it's right.
Right.
You'll know the right time if you're listening to the signals. How you feel, where you've been, whether you're financially fit at that moment, whatever the case may be. You'll know the right time when it's time to go.
Right.
And I think the thing that people have been asking me, it's kind of funny.
Oh, no.
Like, yeah, like, we're going to play golf. You're going to try pickleball? Or, so
Yeah,
you're going to go to the beach every day? Yes, that might be part of what I do. It's
Right.
only a little bit of a part of it. And then, of course, there are a lot of people who say, well, boy, can't wait to get you on my board of directors. Can't wait to have you, tapped on your shoulder to
Yeah,
go come volunteer and come and be involved, engaged with this, and would you like to do this project? And I think the thing that's smart, and I'm going to try to be smart,
Yes.
is to step back a little bit for a while this year, learn what it's like to sleep without borders,
Oh, yeah.
learn what it's like to do something a little bit more in the moment, like time to take a walk,
Yeah.
time to have lunch with
Yeah.
somebody or as a friend. time to do a house repair or something, and just try to not be as organized or determined in the go, go, go of a schedule.
Right.
And that's going to be a huge, for me, a real change.
I was going to say not to get up at 4 a.m. anymore.
That's right. Those days are, well, I
'Cause
still
I-
do it even with the chamber. It's just you get old habits, Pete. You know,
Right.
they don't stop. You know,
Right.
I for 27 years, I got up between 3 and 4:15 a.m. for
Right.
my radio work, and I can't get out of that now. I can sleep till 5 or 5:15 some days, but I tend to go to sleep a little earlier than most people,
Yeah.
and get up earlier than most people. So,
Exactly.
but it's a good decision, and you know, I'm not sure this will be permanent. You never know, because I'm not a person who believes in a hard stop.
Right.
So there may be something else down the road. At this point, I'm not counting on it. I'm counting on enjoying my family and taking it as it comes.
Now, how is your family in England?
Very well, thank
Everybody's
you.
good?
Little Hadja will be with us in a few weeks. She's
Oh, good.
a little 16-month-old. I call her Little Button. She's
Okay.
a sweetie. So very chatty. She's a sweet kid. And, you know, for our family, my son's finishing up his PhD over in England, so he's over at Oxford University. Is wonderful. It's just incredibly historic.
Oh, really?
And their space there is and the whole lifestyle around the university there is terrific. And our daughter-in-law is from Morocco, so we have this, you know, Morocco, United Kingdom connection. And then my other son has now left New York City to live in Florida, and
Okay.
his family's in Florida, Tampa. So that's a big distance. I want to put a big plug in for Avello. Thank you very much. Our family wants you to keep flying to Florida and stay at Tweed New Haven Airport. So when you interview Matt Hoey,
Yes.
please, Avello, stay where you are, please. Thank you for never losing our luggage. I know, it's perfect. It's been a big blessing to have Avello here in New Haven to fly out to get to Florida.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, if they can only, you know, if they can take care of British Airways and Air Morocco and fly over to the UK and Morocco, we'll be all set.
You're good.
Yeah, out of Tweed, we hope.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what else does the chamber have coming up? We got the
A lot of things.
We got the event with Mike Frieda coming up. We
Right.
got the event in April coming up.
Manufacturing, yeah. Then we have our annual business awards and annual meeting in June. So my successor, we're getting very close to choosing a successor. We're in the process of doing that right now, and perhaps by the time this is running and airing, we may have an announcement as to
Yeah,
who
there
the
you
person
go.
will be. Somebody who appears to be with a very good community business imprint, so we're
Okay.
going to get somebody who's very qualified for the job. Great candidate. It's been a great search. Our big event will be in June at the Farms Country Club for the Quinnipiac Chamber. For that event, we honor 6 area people in the area.
Okay.
You know, and our business person of the year. Then we go back to the farms again in August. On August 12th, we have our golf tournament,
the
which
golf
always
tournament, that's right.
sells right out. 144 golfers last year. We hit our top limit. It's tremendous day. People love playing in
Really?
August. And then we go and pivot back to this second annual North Haven Festival and Business Expo.
That's right.
Which will be on the green. Right now, tentatively, it's September 21st with the rain date of the 22nd.
Okay.
I think we're 90% sure that's the date. Don't want people to hold it to us 100%. We may kick it back to the next week.
Right.
But we had a tremendous upstart of this event. There'll be music because of the new band shell that's on the North Haven Green.
Okay.
Antique cars that will be there that day. Exhibitors outside of our tents who have different types of businesses that don't fit in tents. You know, they're
Right.
kind of like a show and tell that way. We'll have a lot of food vendors who will be there. We had 4 last year. We'll probably increase that. And the YMCA last year provided children's events and family events on the green. So we have enough interest already to claim 2 tents. So last year we had about 40 exhibitors. We think we can double that this year. Been tremendous interest already. Big day, it's free. But that's coming up in September. At late October, we have the Women's Achievement Awards. We honor 6 area women for their outstanding achievements in the region. And this year we did something different to promote the events around Wallingford and North Haven in the holidays.
Okay.
We used to do a decorating contest, which is nice, you know, but we thought we'd do something different about shopping local.
Right.
So my colleague Gary Carliglio had a really great idea of trying to make this a shop small event, and then shop now. You know, to have people be going to the small businesses.
Right.
small retailers and other outlets to buy from them during this holiday season. So that's part of our new campaign. Plus, we have our ongoing leads, podcasts, business after hours. We also have a lot of events we pivot, or I should say, partner with our chamber partner, the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce. Right. Which is major. We have a workforce summit coming up on February 15th with Greater New Haven Chamber, which would be a gateway. As you know, workforce is a big deal right now, trying to get trained workers. So that's going to be at Gateway the afternoon of February 15th. So that's our imminent big event that we partner with the Greater New Haven Chamber.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the event and the festival in September in North Haven, that's the head of economic development for the town of North Haven, is a mutual friend of ours, I believe.
Yes, he is. Yeah, Walter was there with, he has a restaurant as well, Carbone's Deli, so he's engaged with that. Plus, and he was there for that. Plus, North Haven Television, NHTV.
That's right.
Very familiar with that. Will be there, and they were supporting us last year with filming the event. So NHTV, Bernadette Welsh, who's also there, who's got another program as you do on NHTV. Was promoting the event. So we got great support from NHTV, the Economic Development Commission in North Haven, and the town of North Haven, and First Selectman Mike Frieda and his staff, Valerie Goodkin, Andy Del Vecchio. I can't say enough about the people who work.
Talk about community newspapers.
And you.
And well, not just me, but
it's a community program.
How important community programming is.
Yeah. Well, this is vital because you're one of the last places and spaces where you can come on and talk about something that is right out your back door. You're a Main Street broadcaster.
Right.
And you've been this way for many years. But if you're seeing how media is changing, the White family, which has been the publisher of the Record Journal in Meriden since 1867, just sold to Hearst Corporation and newspapers. Now, Hearst has the newspapers, have 8 units, including the New Haven Register and now RJ Media in Center of State. They still put out the weeklies. They still do community journalism.
I do that?
Yeah, they do statewide, stories as well. So Hearst is still from that tradition of newspapers where they want to commit to a local community as well. So they have that, but it's from a different corporate standpoint. It's not a individually family-owned operation, as RJ Media has been for since Andrew Johnson was president 2 years after the end of the Civil War.
Oh, wow. Which
is remarkable. And they did an amazing job. Liz White, her dad, the whole family. So newspapers, weekly newspapers, community access television, what Paul Bass does with the New Haven Independent radio station. All of this is so vital because the things that affect us go on here. Social media is important, don't get me wrong. We need our social media platforms.
Right.
But you can get very lost in the social media because there's a news scroll, there's an ongoing, you can even follow a page. It's a little more complicated.
Right.
You have a little bit more control over traditional media. It's important that we keep traditional media like this and what you're doing alive and keep these programs going. They're accessible. You can find them. They're part of a schedule.
Right.
So I'm optimistic that we'll rediscover some form of community journalism at some point.
Right.
We're not in great times at the moment with the demise across the country. But I think people will slowly wake up and say, well, hey, what's missing? And they'll come back to some form of this.
Now, on a personal level, what are you going to miss most about not being on with Pete Mezzetti as much, considering you're moving on?
Well, which camera am I supposed to do? I mean,
yeah, right? Yeah,
right. As a volunteer.
Look at me. Yeah, well, hey, you could do that too.
Well, as I said before, I think when you are making a transition like this from an official role and then you're sort of private citizen or retiree, whatever you want to call it, I'm not retiring from civic life or volunteerism at all.
No.
That's just not, I wouldn't be happy personally, but
No.
what I'll miss is the promotional aspect of what you're doing in this program, the fact that you uplift the community, you enjoy what you do.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think if I were to sort of say a little parting message to a lot of people is introverts, extroverts unite.
Right.
You don't have to be an extrovert
No.
or a people person to be engaged in your town or community, to feel like you can contribute, make a lasting impression. And I would say, honestly, be kind and give other people space. I think we define ourselves too frequently these days by our political affiliation, our religious practices, where we live, even what teams we follow or what programs we watch,
right.
or what books we read. We're very complex people. There's a lot of diversity to us. And I would hope people would see, whether it's not only in business, but in their neighborhoods and in their workplaces, as they see difference as a source of joy, as they see it as a source of widening their perspective, to embrace all people and to embrace their businesses and support them. We need each other. And these are tough times, I think, where people feel a little isolation. And to sort of experience that one-on-one joy with people and just accept them and love them for who they are. Business is about love, and so is community. So I would hope people would take that message. That would be my hope for them.
Ray Andrewsen from the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. We're about to run out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, Pete. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for everything. On behalf of Ray Andrewsen, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks. Good night. We'll see you next time.